we can deal with other matters too with Pablo O'Hana, a senior political advisor, Eurovision party host. Hello, Pablo.
Hi, how are you?
Very good, thank you. So yeah, a foot in two camps, a finger in two pies, whatever it is here. Seeing it from all angles. When you boil it all down, how are you feeling?
Honestly, it's pretty tough actually because Eurovision, you listen, it's great fun. We all know that, and if you subscribe to the night and you kind of go with it, then it's a really great night. But actually, fundamentally, with Eurovision, I really do subscribe to its founding values, its founding principle, which was to unite our continent after these two bloody world wars. And I think it's a real shame that for 70 years it did just that. And actually, it did an incredible job, this peacemaking project of bringing together these European countries and showing that actually we have these amazing shared values. We have all this great music, all these shared values together that we have in common. And actually, that is all being undone by one country because we don't have the courage to stand up and say, actually, I'm sorry, we have to draw a line here. And, the idea that Eurovision is not political is just, that's naive. Eurovision is inherently political. As I just said,
Mm.
its founding mission was political, was to bring our continent together. And actually, it's at its best when it's political. Ukraine winning in 2022 was a fantastic moment of Europe saying, no, this is not okay. We draw a line. And this is our continent standing together saying, we're not okay with what Russia's doing. But there have been plenty of examples where Eurovision has been a fantastic platform for values like that. And I think it's a real shame. It's genuinely quite heartbreaking actually to see it all being undone.
Okay, because there is another way of looking at it, isn't there, Pablo? Which is, as you say, if you look at the founding principles of Eurovision, which is to bring nations together and to promote harmony. The other argument is that a vote was held and it was decided that Israel would remain. And once a decision to be made democratically, it's the duty then of the nations to come to shut out all the outside noise. If for one day a year the nations of Europe and beyond can come together and not talk about the misery of the real world, then that delivers as well, doesn't it, on the Eurovision's founding principles?
I think in this occasion, we have to look at this as part of a wider picture. I don't think you can separate the two things out. As I say, it's not just about songs and staging, it is about values. And I think if you allow Israel to participate, then this looks like it becomes a sort of selective platform for political storytelling. I think you have to say, if Israel is going to be in, then the two ideas that I've written about today is that there should either be, at some point during the show, a Palestinian kind of voice. So that might be fans of the show will know that they have this sort of like postcard, a film postcard before each artist performs, and it kind of shows off the best of each country. So something like that. Or the BBC, which should represent the British people, and the British people don't agree with this. The poll out a couple of weeks ago showed that over 3/4 of British people don't think that this is the right decision. Then the BBC should represent that, and they should have at least some sort of statement or kind of context beforehand to say, listen, we acknowledge that this is really controversial. Here is the debate around this issue, and give a platform to the other side of this, because otherwise, we've seen what's happened before. Israel has used the songs as a way to talk about, the horror that they have faced, which is absolutely valid. And no one is saying that what happened on the 7th of October is anything but horrific. But you can't only platform one side of this story. That's the bottom line.
So rather than seeking to exclude Israel, making it look as though you are coming down on one side of this argument, you actually think that excluding Israel actually promotes that sense of balance and seeing both sides of what's happened here?
I think the option is either you exclude Israel or you include them, but you counterbalance it. I think anything else is biased, and I just think that it is undoing so much good that this platform has done. And as I say, you can't have one side without the other. It's a complete credibility crisis. And the British public see that double standard. They want the UK to do something about that. Other countries have. You've seen Spain, Ireland, Netherlands. They've taken a stand and they've drawn a line. And At the end of the day, this is a contest. I love it. Next year would be my 15th anniversary of holding a party. But this is a contest. It's a competition. It's meant to be some fun. There are serious human rights violations at risk here.
So you
And
won't even watch them, will you?
so this is actually something I'm having a real debate with myself now, is that I'm having to come to the conclusion that I may well have to cancel my party and boycott it for the first time in my life, which is a really tough place to be. But as I say, human rights are non-negotiable. And, if you feel strongly about something, you have to put everything aside and say, I'm sorry, as other countries have done. I mean, Ireland won't even broadcast it. There are countries now who are saying not only are we not going to be in it, we're not going to show it because we have to draw a line here. So unless the BBC can figure something out, as I say, whether it's the BBC puts out a statement before the show or whether the EBU who organises it has, some balance in there with a Palestinian voice, I think the ultimate conclusion is that I and I know a lot of other people will not be able to support it next year.
Well, let's give the number then. And Pablo, thank you very much. Really interesting analysis from Pablo O'Hana. So 03